Well, good evening and welcome to Get Real with Rick Dancer. I'm in Livingston, Montana, where we have about, I'd say 4 to 5 inches of snow on the ground. The temperature outside is four degrees. That's just four, the number four. It's going to go down to 0 tonight. And as long as the wind's not blowing, it's not bad. I can tolerate it. Went out and shot a story today. So, in fact, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to run the open, and then I'm going to talk with you and give you guys some stuff that's going on. And I'll show you. So here's our open for us.
Who puts up with this? That's what I don't understand.
Bring the lion out. Bring the lion.
Tonight on our show, we're going to have...
Hey guys, don't you think it's kind of fun that you get to comment on the news?
There's a cost. Oh yeah, there's a cost. People come after you.
Like, I think that's why this is so much fun, is because...
We'll see you at 5.
And so our sponsors tonight are Chris Daniel Family Dentistry, where everybody's welcome. Despite your vaccine status, it doesn't matter. He wants to make sure your dental care is taken care of, and they want to make sure you're good. We have a great show tonight. We're going to end it with a really fun interview. I've got some folks from Alvord Taylor, Endless Possibilities. I love their tagline. I always have to say it. I just make it one big thing because that's what they're all about. Endless possibilities for people with different abilities. And we're going to talk to a couple of one is a client and one is someone who works for them. The whole purpose of Alvord Taylor being with us, well, one is they want to make sure you guys have content that you can see and what's out there and support our show. But two, they need employees. They need people to work for them. And they've got a couple of clients from our employees from this because, there's a lot of us who kind of saw what happened during the pandemic and decided, life is too short to be doing a job that I hate. And I want to do something meaningful. And if you want to do something truly meaningful, it's when you assist people in their living and making their lives better. And that's exactly what you do when you're working at Alvord Taylor. You're providing endless possibilities for a lot of really amazing people. So I see it's raining in Roseburg. And here it's not snowing or anything. It's been sunny all day and beautiful. Our other sponsor is Matt McCarl with New Leaf Hyperbaric and Wellness Center. And he has this new, it looks like a tanning bed. And yes, that's me. It's actually an ultraviolet light bed. So blue lights, red lights, helps with pain, helps with restoration after working out, getting you all back into shape. It is the most amazing thing. I love hyperbarics, but I think I'm liking the bed better, the light bed. And my wife did it too, and it's really restorative. And there's a lot of things they're showing now with light therapy that can be really good for your skin, good for hair. I don't really need the skin thing. I could use the hair, but it works really well on those kind of products. So again, those are two of our sponsors as well. Bill Lundun is not here tonight because he is taking the day off because he thinks he's the president. I don't know who voted for him or who made him the president, but I guess he somehow thinks he is the president. And so he is going to be there. Skipper says, I have a light, but it's only 4 inches around, so I have to move it around a lot. Yeah, in that bed, you don't have to do anything except you sleep for 20 minutes. It is absolutely amazing. So what do you do in Montana on a weekend for fun? Well, I'm going to show you. So we went to fur trapping. It's a big deal in Oregon too, in the eastern part of the state. But here in Montana, it's a way of life. And so we went to a show. I'm going to get a man about fur trapping. Watch.
So like beavers, muskrats, raccoons are greasier, so you don't put them with the nice fur, you don't put them with your coyotes.
So when did you start doing this?
Oh shit, forever.
Really?
Yeah, that guy.
You what?
With him, I was probably out trapping since I was 3 or 4.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
So why do you do it?
For the love, just love it.
I know that's a way of life that a lot of people in Oregon don't understand. But it really is when you live in cold temperatures, people wear fur. That's how they stay warm. And it also they sell a lot of that to Russia and other countries. So Nolan, the young man there, is a friend of my son's, and he's been trapping since he was 3. And he said, I said, I want a beaver pelt because I'm from the beaver state. And he says, well, then you're going to have to go get it. So you come with me. So we'll be doing a video on me going out and trapping my own beaver. So I'm kind of excited. I think that'll be kind of fun. The other thing I wanted to show you was today I was at the gym and talking to a gentleman next to me, had a big beard. And I always start a conversation with a bearded dude and saying, hey, that's a hell of a beard you had. And that turned into, this guy's building tiny homes. Because in Montana, they have the same problem we have all over the West Coast, is that they have housing prices are so high, they can't get employees to work because they can't afford to live in places like Livingston and other folks, because they don't have enough, they can't afford a place to live. So he was out bear hunting with his business partner, Rick, and they started talking about what they could do. So I went out there today and shot a video. This is just a little teaser to kind of show you what's coming probably next week.
Mountain range behind me, and I'm out on this farm way out outside of Livingston, and I met this guy at the gym, and they make these tiny houses. Check these out. I mean, these are not, and you're going to have a story, I'm going to have a story on about this, but these are these tiny houses. They're really upscale. And the coolest thing is, as I'm kind of talking more to the guys, there's 2 guys working here who actually work on a farm up on the Canadian border, an organic farm, and they need housing. So they worked out a deal with this company, and they're down here helping to build their own housing. I mean, don't you think that's a great story? So anyway, we'll have more on that. I'll show you a little video here, and we'll have more on that coming up probably next week. All right, let's take a look one more time.
So isn't that amazing? So these 2 guys, so they have an organic farm up on the Canadian border. They don't have enough housing for people. And so now they sent 2 of their employees down. They're building their own houses and an office, tiny office that they'll then put on the back of a truck and haul it up to this farm. And they're going to keep doing these kind of partnerships with people. Their dream is to build a community, a nice community, not like a trailer park, but a really nice community of these, $90,000, $100,000 tiny homes, and put people in there that can't afford it. So it'll keep kids in Livingston who can't afford to buy. The average price, I think, is like close to $500,000 now, $450,000. Well, a lot of people can't afford that. So these tiny houses are becoming an option. So we're putting that together, and that'll be something we'll have next week. I want to give Dr. Michael Bratlin a few kudos because he's offering a special right now as part of those folks who watch our show. And here's what he's doing for you.
A lot of crowns, and we do really good crowns. And it's funny, a patient asked me the other day, is like, how are you giving such cheap crowns? And I think they think that maybe I'm having like lesser quality. I have really good quality crowns, and we do really good work. And we charge, if you don't have insurance, we charge $998. So if, let's say you break a tooth and you know you need a crown, you can call us, and that's how much you're paying. We're not gonna charge you all these add-ons. You don't want a crown that breaks. I don't want stuff from China. It's a local lab. They're phenomenal. You're gonna come in the chair. We're not gonna charge you for a limited exam, X-ray, a core build-up, and a crown. We're gonna charge you $998.
And Dr. Bratlin says you have to say, I saw this on Get Real with Rick to answer if you want that break. Last summer, 2 summers ago, Kathy and I were here in Livingston, Montana. We ran into a woman. We actually got a gift from someone, and it was from Montana, and it was these oils that she has. And so we saw the store right here in Montana, Livingston, Montana, and went, oh my gosh, that's where they got them. So I want you to take a look at this. This is a special thing, and you can find more of these. You can order these online and get this stuff delivered right to your house.
Montana is a unique little fishing community that has arts, foodies. Everybody just loves Livingston except for the wind in the winter.
And you find a way to make a living here.
Yes, absolutely. So everybody that lives here loves loves what we have as a community, so anybody that wants to can find a way to make a living. I'm Kim from Copper Moose Oil and Vinegar. I am the owner. My husband John is as well. We started the business 4 years ago. All of our oils and vinegars are selected by an olive oil savant that we have in Bozeman. She co-created Olivelli. So all of our oils and vinegars are hand selected, imported into Bozeman. Most everything is freshly infused in Bozeman. And all of our salts and seasonings are made in Bozeman at the warehouse as well.
How did you know that? Because this has become quite the hit.
I've been a foodie for a long, long time, and food is my passion. So I just knew that since I loved the product, that other people would too. People are loving to cook even more now at home, so it's been great for us, and everything works together, as you could tell by choosing our oils and vinegars, all of the different selections that I gave you, all of the different combinations, so the possibilities are endless. We have over 40 oils and vinegars on tap. Yes.
On tap.
On tap.
So you're just competing with microbrews.
Right, exactly. And we get mistaken for a brewery sometimes because our sign says tap house. So we have people that come in wanting brews, and we don't have those, but we always sell them oils and vinegars instead.
And there's nothing better than oil and vinegar and beer.
Exactly.
Why Livingston, Montana?
I was born and raised here, so was my husband. So we were looking to start a new business that we thought would be great for the area and something that the area needed.
Isn't that awesome? It's right here in downtown Livingston, Montana. So since we're not all about Montana, we're also about Oregon and other places. Oh, I don't know if you guys saw the video I found. I think we might have found somebody to do news for us out of Montana as well. So we're going to be starting that up once we have the conversation and see what we can do with that as well. But I want to take you now a couple of years back to Redmond, Oregon. They have for those of you who haven't seen this, because I hadn't, because you just drive through Redmond, you're not going to probably see it. But there's a huge canyon that divides the community, and it's big. And in that, there's a beautiful running paths. There's horseshoes. There's frisbee golf, all kinds of stuff that you can do. Soccer fields. Goes a long, long ways to the community. But there's this one really nice bridge that connects the two sides of that great divide. And a local rock climber discovered something to do with that.
Again, another beautiful day, and we're going to find out how you climb a bridge.
So we take a piece of infrastructure that is also artsy, because it's a beautiful bridge, as you can see, and a local couple and a bunch of other people made it into a mountain climbing area without the mountain.
I'm Ian Caldwell, and I was the person who developed the climbing at the bridge and put up all the handholds and put up the route. Well, we climb a lot at Smith Rock State Park, and all the climbing there is vertical, like just straight up and down, and we hardly have anything that's steep and overhung. And from the first day I saw this bridge, I was like, I thought it'd be really cool to put up overhanging routes. And so I started pitching that idea to the city of Redmond if we were able to put up a climbing route on the underside of the bridge, and we eventually got approval for that, and it took a couple of years, and we raised some funds and got donations for the holds, and we built the one route up there. So,
and in Redmond, with all of the fantastic, I don't know, you've got this big small town feel, being close to Smith Rock, Bend, and the Cascades, and then to have something that's completely unique. And it makes me think of a European city. But, it's just sort of making the most of pure structure and challenging the climbing that goes on out here. So it's a fantastic opportunity. And it's something that the city of Redmond worked with us. And so it's been a real pleasure to work on and give back to the climbers. So, you just can't ask for more.
It's a park. I mean, it's the whole Dry Canyon. It's kind of the gem of Redmond. We got like a 4 or 5 mile long trail, paved path that people love to hike and stuff. And so, people go hiking here. We've got frisbee golf down at the other end, a dog park. There's a skate park, and And this is, Central Oregon and Redmond's really known for climbing. And so we got our little climbing route here. It's not for beginners. It's a very hard route and more advanced and stuff. But like, it's just super unique. There's not many places where you got this steep of climbing and on a bridge like this.
I'm telling you, when you go to Redmond, you have to go find that trail. Like I said, Kathy and I had never heard about it before, and somebody introduced us to it, and then we went down there, and we ran down there a couple of times, and it's just a really good use of something interesting like that. All right, now we have our interview for the night. I'm excited about this because we are going to talk with some folks from Alvord Taylor. Well, let's just bring them on. This is Jamie Kellis on the screen left, and Matt Bonham on screen right. And they have been very graciously keeping their masks on, but they said they would take them off so we can understand them better as we talk. Thanks for being here, guys.
Great to be here. Thank you to be here.
So, James, tell people, how long have you been one of the folks who gets served so well by the folks at Alvord Taylor?
Well, I started in 2002, and it is right now
2022.
22.
Oh my God, James, that's 20 years.
Yes.
So Matt is like, what do you call yourself, Matt? So you're an employee of Alvord Taylor, but what is it?
Well, we're presently called DSPs, which stands for Direct Support Provider or Professional. Professional, well, we just stick with provider.
Right. And, so James you live on your own, right?
Nope. Oh, yes, I do. Yes, sorry. Yes, I do. I live with my wife, and my daughter lives on her own.
And your two dogs?
And my two dogs, Molly and Spiky. Hi.
That's awesome. And how does Matt help you to be able to do that?
Well, he helps me with all those things I need to do, like go photographs and take pictures, which I do for business. And also, our price has gone up, our photos and our scrap, because all the things are gone up. So
yeah, it's gotten really expensive, huh?
Yeah. And then and I work for Alvord Taylor, and I also work for Watford Grant.
So you have 3 jobs?
Yes.
Wow. How old are you?
I'm going on 50 in September.
Well, this is your Jubilee.
I'm right now 49.
Oh my gosh. So
yes.
Matt, what are some of the other things you do to keep so that James can live on his own with his family? What are the things that you do to kind of just pick up some of the pieces?
Well, we assist like for medical supports, scheduling appointments, accompanying them, perhaps maybe putting into layman's terms, doctor's orders and instructions, and just, monitoring, keeping James in good health so he can go and do all those awesome things he does all the time. We also help coordinate with classes that he takes through the Oregon Supported Living Program, Arts
and Culture Program?
Culture Program, right.
Yeah.
And he's been involved with them even before I started working with them. And he's a really great artist. And he has his own little art studio office upstairs.
Yep. I call it Kellis Shop and Gallery.
There you go.
You call it what?
Kellis Shop and Gallery, because I'm selling all of my arts and photos and graphs and stuff.
Okay, so you have some fans on here.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. My mom. James is awesome. But Joanne, you can have your mom as a fan. And it's really a good thing with your mom.
She's an artist like me.
Yeah.
I don't know where I got it from. It's from my mom.
What? You say that again?
That's what I got my art from, is my mom.
Oh, so you inherited that from her.
Yes.
Another thing. Oh, I'm sorry. Another thing that we do is we also like to coordinate and encourage independence and to live the fullest life possible. So So we want to ensure that have those family connections, and a lot of times family comes into it, and that's such a difference. When I first started in the field, I worked with individuals who had lived at the old Fairview home in Salem, Oregon, and a lot of them were disconnected with their families. So Alvord Taylor basically became their family, as well as their friends and outside acquaintances. But James here, in our supported living program, it's all about independence and advocating for what they want.
And not disability.
Right. We don't really think of disability too often. No. We think of ability.
Yeah. I don't like that word. I don't use it. I say people with different abilities because it's just, what I find with my friends in this community is they can do anything I can do it. Sometimes just they have to learn it a little differently, just like I have to learn things differently than other people. So, James, what does it do for you personally having Matt in your life?
It helps, and I do also have Vicky, which she can be with us, but that's okay. And they help a lot, really. And helping get things done and make sure I'm healthy.
Does that make you feel more secure?
Yes.
Does it make it easier for you to be with your family and everybody else like that? Because do you feel more independent? Like you're not, you know what I mean? I think sometimes the world likes to look at people with different abilities and think that it's a challenge, but really, with someone like Matt, it makes it so you're just living your life. Just like you have challenges like the rest of us, but you get to live your life.
Yeah.
And you get to pick what you want to do. It's not like somebody's saying, here's what James has to do. And you being a creative dude, that has to be super important to your psyche, your spirit, your soul, your mind.
Yeah, we individuals get our own rights and help what they need to get what they need to be, or that can be independent.
And at Alvord Taylor, we try to inform the individuals that we support, of their rights. Sometimes you just have to really advocate and push it there and says, yes, you have the right to do this.
I like that, Matt, because don't you think sometimes we as a culture put false chains on people with different abilities to say you can't do that because you have this different ability, so you can't do that, where you guys say let's go try it and let's find a way to do it. Whoever thought you would have an arts and culture program in Eugene, Oregon, where people are sculpting and drawing and creating, and now James is taking pictures and people are buying their work and enjoying it in their homes. That was 20 years ago. That wasn't possible. It was possible, but nobody thought it was possible.
Right.
Well, when we started, and one time when I started, way sooner, we're in the Pink Building, that Pete had to do his sculptures, and he had to use the thing that he has on his head to sculpt, and I didn't realize that he could have done that.
Wow. So Matt, let me ask you this: as an employee of the agency, friend and associate to James, what do you get out of two things? What do you get out of your job, and more importantly, what do you get from James that makes your life different?
Okay, I think I have to back up to when I first heard of Alvord Taylor. I was watching a public affairs program on KZI. This was 1970 or 1971. And the host of the show was introducing a new concept for people. They used the R word back in those days. We all know what that was.
Right.
And so they were talking about group homes. And this was the Collier House that was located near the University of Oregon. And they had a slideshow, and they showed people living their lives. Now, the clients or the people supported, there were slides showing them doing everyday things, from cooking meals, just dusting or car and bike maintenance. And then they said they prepare their own meals, and even the staff can have free food. And then there's this picture of a couple of, hippie guys, and looks like they're getting caught making a sandwich. And I'm 9 or 10. I'm saying, I want to work there and get the free food. And we do get some free food, but we work for it. And oftentimes it's when we're being given samples of the wonderful meals that are made by people like James. He's also a great cook.
Yes.
And we work together and do those things. Now, when I saw that when I was a kid, I became interested. I wanted to work in this field. I had my own challenges in terms of learning. I had some cognitive challenges, and I just saw people that I identified with, and they can do it. It's like nothing was stopping them. And so I said, wow, I want to do that. And fortunately, I had a wonderful teacher named Thor Maydall at Washington School. And he said, just take this book and take as long as you need to read it. And then that introduced me that, different people learn differently. We all have our different skill sets and stuff. And we all we work at different paces. And so I learned, and you get older and older, and I would still be interested, but I did a bunch of other jobs. I worked as a phlebotomist. I worked in a used office furniture store, worked in restaurants, but I wouldn't keep the jobs. And then I had heart disease, and then I ended up getting a heart transplant. And so I needed something that was good for my heart and my soul. And well, I run into Alvord Taylor. I had a former co-worker who worked here, and I said, don't you need a degree and stuff? No, but you've got life experience. And that's what I brought on the table in the year 2000 when I was hired. And I have to say, like I was saying, I learned how to read, and then by doing theater, that helped a lot and brought me out. And so doing theater for years, I'm able to bring that into this environment. And well, James can tell you, I have a song for any situation. If somebody says, I can't do it, I just sing, you can do anything. Right, yeah. And then we'll sing, and stuff like that.
So don't you wish that, like obviously this fills your soul?
Yes,
as a person. And James, I'm guessing that the relationship that the two of you have does the same for you.
Yes.
And don't you think that somebody put on here something about, wouldn't that, I think we all have different cognitive things going on. And wouldn't it be nice if we could all just have somebody like you, both of you, picking up. So you, Matt, can do the things that James can't do, and James does the things you can't do. And it's a true friendship, partnership.
Right.
That would be very nice to replicate that in our school system and in our friendships and in our lives. You guys are just a great example of what that's doing. And it goes back to that Alvord Taylor, endless possibilities when you take human beings and allow them to be who they're supposed to be, not who you want them to be.
And what I've learned from James, I've learned how to crab. I'd never been crabbing before. And I learned some things about art and different pens. I'd never worked with acrylic before. That's all because of James. You just never know where it's going to take you.
So you're supposed to be the teacher, and you're being taught.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, everybody says that. It was like, there was a movie called I Am Sam, and
I've seen it.
Right. The female lawyer, she says, I think you've taught me more than you're getting more, or I'm getting more from you than you're getting me from me. Sometimes it feels like
James, let me ask you one last thing.
Yeah.
Okay. What would you like to say to people about when they see somebody with a different ability? What would you advise them on?
I just say ignore those non-American peoples and stand up for your rights.
Perfect.
Be who you are.
And for people who are what we called able-bodied,
yes,
and able-minded, which I wonder if there's really anybody that qualifies for that. Maybe when they see you and see other folks doing things differently, maybe not to judge and just to leave it alone. And I find that when I'm around my friends with different abilities, I feel a lot better about myself because they accept me for who I am,
Yeah.
not who they think I'm supposed to be. How do you do that so easily?
Well, I do have a tendency of getting annoyed with people that say that stuff, but then I said, what the heck? You're doing the best you can. Just ignore them.
You just proved my point. Matt, what would you say people should look? Maybe all of us need to look on the inside a little more than we do on the outside.
Mm-hmm. Just to be aware, be open. You know, you're hearing the word be mindfulness a lot these days.
Yeah.
And I think that's what it is. You know, enter every situation without, preconceived notions.
A good job, huh? You probably have the best. You may not get paid over the top. You get good paid. You get decent pay, and you have good benefits.
Yes.
But one of the benefits that I think people are starting to recognize is the guy sitting next to you.
This guy.
Yeah. Hey, James and Matt, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Really appreciate
I'd
your
like to be interviewed with you again, so have time to do that. So
I'm sorry, say it again.
I said, if you'd like to interview me sometime again, let me know.
I will. I know who your people are. I can call your people and get you set up when I need to. One thing real quick, Matt, Gail Cook said she used to work with you at Eugene Plasma. And somebody else came on, and this is Laura Richards English says, James and Matt, thank you very much. And I say the same thing. You're a breath of fresh air to start this Monday. We're supposed to be honoring presidents today, but I think I'm going to honor you guys. You'll be if I had a Mount Rushmore, I'll put you two in my Mount Rushmore, okay?
Well, I think people with disabilities have the right to be honored too. So
I think they all do. That's right. All right, buddies. We'll talk to you guys later. Thank you. Is that not refreshing? I'll tell you. Yeah. Well, the show's called Get Real with Rick Dancer. And if I want my show to be the most real, it's when you invite people with different abilities on, because they'll tell you exactly what's going on. And there's no hidden agenda. I remember when I found out I had cancer, people were coming up and staring at me funny and, doing things, and everybody, nobody knew quite what to say or anything. And I went to an event for people with different abilities, and they had heard, because it was in the newspaper, that I had cancer, but they hadn't seen me and I hadn't seen them. And I remember walking up to this event, and all of these folks came up and were crying and saying exactly what they wanted to say. Are you going to die? And it was so refreshing for me to be able to say, no, I'm not going to die, but just somebody asked the question instead of people tiptoeing around and being careful. My friends with different abilities, they weren't careful. They wanted to know. And it was just like a release for me. And they always have done so much for me that way. So Bill will be back tomorrow, and we will have a whole nother lineup of stories and shows. It's our Elements of a Healthy Life. And Elements Health Club in Springfield is doing some working with the Girl Scouts now, and they're helping them to get their badge and learn more about how to take care of themselves. So that's going to be on tomorrow night, and much more. We'll also have a story from out in the field of what we do and that kind of stuff. So we'll have much more for you. I hope you had a good day off. If you had it off, if you didn't, like me, well, we just worked. So we'll talk to you guys later. Share this on your page. That way it gets to other people, and they can be blessed by that conversation with James and Matt. So just take it, just hit share, and it goes directly on your page. All right. I am Rick Dancer, and it's good to talk to you. We will see you tomorrow night live from Livingston, Montana.